So you want to make life-changing money, and you want to make it fast, and you want to make it without too much headache. Today I'm going to tell you guys what I personally believe are the coins that are literally going to be able to change your life if you play this correctly. You guys have a total of 6 to 8 months to make life-changing money. I'm not only going to give you the tool that's going to allow you to spot coins early, but I'm also going to tell you which coins I personally believe that are going to be the ones that, if you position yourself correctly, should make life-changing money for you guys. With that being said, guys, this is not financial advice. This is my opinion on what I believe and what I personally feel will make you guys life-changing money. So with that being said, let's start off with the tools. So number one, guys, you need BullX. If you don't have BullX, link is down below. I highly recommend you guys join due to the fact that it's going to help you do 3 things effectively. Number one, it's going to help you trade with less money. So that means you're not going to be spending too much on gas fees because it's very cheap. And that's anytime you save money on trading, it's good. Number 2, it's fast. And number 3, it helps you spot the coins before they even take off. So that allows you to make more maximum gains. But today we're not going to be focusing primarily on that. We're going to actually be focusing on something else, which are the coins I feel like right now are kind of bottomed out. I'm going to give you guys entry points and where I believe these tokens will be like in the next 6 months. Remember, these are going to be long-term holds, so you just keep that in mind. The thing is, you want to buy bottoms. All right, so if you guys know, I've been preaching Michi for a very, very long time, guys. I started preaching Michi since it was it hit 60 the first time. It ran up all the way to 300. Once again, I am telling you, Michi right now is a big sleeper in this meme cycle. Now, there are a lot of coins that are, started a little bit further back. This one actually came a little bit further back and have had a bunch of pulls and a bunch of dips. And this one I still believe is a really, really good token. I still am very firmly believe this will hit 500 million. It will hit ultimate high again. And right now, the entry point right now is at 68. What I personally would do with this one, I would probably buy a little bit here under that 75 range. And then I'm not buying a lot. I'm buying like a little and seeing it dips back to 60. This is where I would want to get in. If I were a betting man, I would have wanted to get in here at 60. That is like the ideal entry point, because if this runs up to 600 mil, that's a nice easy 10x here. Now remember, these you want to come in with a little bit more size than usual. So if you usually do 1 Solana, you probably want to go in with 5, 2, a little bit higher than what you normally would, because these are long-term holds. So you're not going to have to constantly be watching this chart over and over and over again. Right now it's at 69. It's going to be fluctuating. I think it goes down to 70. It might come down a little bit, but anything between, I would say anything underneath 75 to 80 should give you a nice return. If you could get into 60, it could possibly give you a 10x, maybe even more. If you get a little bit higher, then it's less x's, but you're still going to be able to make some nice multiple on this one. So Michi is definitely one I highly recommend. You guys take advantage on how cheap it actually is, because as you see, it's gone to 60 multiple times, and it's ran up multiple times. So that's what I like to see on coins. They're able to sustain that dip and rise back to the occasion. Number 2, guys, now this is going to be like a little bit more of, you want to come in with a little bit more umph. This is Popcat. Popcat's actually one that I've been calling since 250K. I said, it's going to hit a bill. It hit a bill. It even ran up even higher. It touched 2 billion right here. And right now it's dipped to, the lowest it got to was 600 million, like 640 million. This is kind of like where you wanted to go in. As you see, it's been fluctuating here. Right now it's at 750. And, it's been going from like 800, 750, 800, 750. I would say, once again, very similar to Michi, anything below 800 should be good. Now, this is not one that you're going to be like, oh my goodness, this is going to give me like a 20x, 30x, but this should give you, if you come in with size on this one, it should give you a nice return, at least a 3x to 4x. Potentially in the bull market, things go pretty crazy. Coins that like at this level could easily go to 10 billion, 25 billion. We just don't know. It's just whatever, whoever picks the, the right coin, right? So eventually you want to diversify. And with that being said, you want to make sure that you're positioning yourself accordingly to be able to take advantage. Now, I believe Popcat will hit and break all-time high again. So from this point, 750 here, you guys are looking like about a 2x, 2.5, 3, maybe potential 3 to 5x here. With Popcat, it could go even higher, but you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of getting into Popcat as low as you possibly can. I think the lowest we got was that 650 entry mark. If it dips anything below, you want to come in here and snag that dip here. So now let's talk a little bit about some AI coins. I got a couple AI coins because before in our previous videos, we didn't mention too much AI because as you guys know, I was a pioneer of AI. I told you guys about GOAT at 2 million. It ran up to a billion, like 1.4, 1.5 there. If I remember correctly, well, yeah, 1.5. So I called this one really, really early. I call it like down here, guys. So we got into this one early. Right now, it's sitting at 452 million. It's still a very, very nice solid buy. As you guys see here, it hit like the bottom it hit was 400, around that range. It touched 400 kind of again. I do believe this will break an all-time high once we get into the bull market. So GOAT's this one like the safe bets in the sense of eventually it will break all-time high. So right here, we're looking at a very, very nice entry point. Still very, very low here, guys. Anything below 500, to me, it's definitely a very good one because there's a potential of 4 to 5x here with GOAT, just because it's the pioneer of the AI meta, and this is like the first AI, right? Kind of like the one that started the whole movement. So usually the one that starts the whole movement is the one that gets like the hugest exponential growth here. So I do expect this breaking all-time high, maybe hitting somewhere like between 3 billion to 4 or 5 billion in a bull market. Now that's if we get into like a massive bull market, it could go even higher. So GOAT is one that I would recommend, especially with this entry point. It's kind of like, this is like a God-given entry point here. Anything below 500, I think it's a very, very good one. The next one we have is Griffin. This is a little bit more of a higher market cap. This is sitting at 200. This is a newer coin. This is actually one of the coins that has been supported extremely, extremely by, Solana, the Solana dev. So I believe this coin hits a bill, even higher. Right now it's sitting at 231. So those are some really nice multiples here. This potentially does like a 10x from where it's at right now. Of course, you want to get in lower, but it hasn't dipped, the low. I've been waiting for this 150 mark. It just hasn't hit 150. So potentially I don't believe it will hit this 150. So like the entry point was like around 200. Right now it's at 230. I would probably wait for a little bit of retracement. Anything below 250, I think it's a very good entry. Right now it's at 230. But 250 and below, I think will give you a nice entry point here. For Griffin, I believe this one is going to go pretty crazy soon. And so do expect this one to kind of, just kind of front run a lot of coins here. The next one we're going to talk about is Cerebro. Now this one, I wish I would have posted this video when it was at 290, that 300 rank, because it's already running, right? It's already pushing back up. I do believe this one, guys, right now, the all-time high on this one's like 500. I do think this one hits 1 bill easily. Anything between 500 or below should be a good entry point, but this 300 entry point was kind of like the ideal you wanted to get in here, because that would have been a potential, 3x if it gets to 900. You could have had hit a bill and higher, so it's like 5 to 4x here. Right now it's at 400, so I would probably wait for a retracement here, because as you see we have a new top C. If it breaks this, it's going to go higher. So if it doesn't break that, it's going to retrace a little bit, and I will look for an entry point here. If it doesn't retrace, I would probably hold back and maybe look for another coin here, just because you will have less return for your money and your investment if you guys are trying to get multiples. But Cerebro is actually a really good coin if you're looking for coming in with a large chunk of money, and then you just kind of want to get that 1 to 2x, and you guys should be behind your Cerebro. The next one I want to mention is, guys, another one that I called at 1.5 million, ALCH. This one ran up to 160 mil. Right now it's been retracing. It had its dips to 33 here. This was like a beautiful entry point here on the 21st of December. If you would have gotten in here at that's 30, it ran up to 100 already. So right, so that would have been some nice 3x right there. It's gotten another little dip here at 60. I think for this one, anything like within this range, right? So anything between, ideally I would want to buy it below 50. I don't know if we're gonna be getting the below 50 option here. But if we are gonna be getting the below 50 option here, that's where I would want to enter. If we can't get this entry point, then I would look for anything around this range of 80. I think that should be very, very good here. I still think this one hits 500. So do keep a nice multiple. So ALCH, if you don't know, this is going to be very, very big. So keep that in mind. All right, guys. So now to run into the ones I believe are going to go literally parabolic. I have no idea where to put the cap on these, but these could go to 25 bill, 10 bill. The one I want to start talking about is Peanut. As you guys know, this was like one of the craziest runs we've seen in almost all crypto. This literally went from 30 million all the way to 2 billion, 2.5 billion in like the span of less than a week. So really, really crazy. This has a lot of political movement. It has a lot of big influencers in here. Currently, right now, it had like a crazy, crazy dip. I mean, if you didn't buy this dip of 500, like under 600, I don't know where you were at, but this was like a God given gift of to buy in here. Unfortunately for these guys, you got to come in with a big chunk of money if you want to make a good return. Right now, it's at 650. Still relatively good entry. I think anything below like 700 should be a pretty good return. But ideally, if you could get anything below like 600, that is when you're going to be making good gains. Because this one, guys, I think this hits 10 bill. Like this will hit 10 bill. I personally feel like it will hit 10 bill eventually in a bull market. So this is a very, very good token to pick up. And this is like a very crazy dip. I don't know if it's gonna get another dip, guys. It's very hard for me to tell, especially on these, just because we already got one crazy dip of 500. We got another dip here. Right now it's at 640. So if this hits 10 bill, that's some nice multiples there. So Peanut is one that you should definitely keep your eye on. I think it's not done. All right. The next one is Flog. This is another one, guys, that it's kind of like one of those that doesn't go away, and it's just been steady, steady, steady in the sense of it's not dipping to 50 mil. It hasn't dipped below this 100 mil range. And we had a 180 dip right here, a 175 dip. Right now it's back up to 300. All-time high is 800. This will hit a bill. So this entry would have been ideally here. Would have given you a nice 5x here, 5 to 6x. Right now it's at 300. So anything below 400 mil should give you a pretty good entry point. But I'm looking for a dip below 300. So that's what I'm personally looking for. If you guys weren't able to get into this 170, dip right here. So Fog is another one I would recommend. And I do think this has a very nice run right here coming into this bull market. The next one I am extremely, extremely bullish on, guys, is Shield. Guys, you guys know I usually post this a lot on Twitter. And I tell you guys, man, this is kind of crazy. This is going to go parabolic. And right now it's sitting at 163. It's had some crazy, crazy bounces. It went to it dipped to 200 mil, ran up to like 600. Then it had another dip to 300, ran up back to 600. So it's been having some crazy movement. This coin right here, I personally believe will pull a Pepe. So if you guys are looking for a coin, this is my personal opinion, guys, not financial advice, but I think this is going to be one of those coins that are just going to go super parabolic just because it's actually a meme. So there's a lot of coins. I say this a lot on Twitter. So understanding what's a meme and what's not a meme is extremely important when you're trading. And if you're trading and you don't know if it's a meme or not, it's super, super hard to kind of figure out which ones are the ones that are going to make crazy runs, right? So I personally believe that in order for a meme to actually thrive prior to all the FUD and prior to all the hype and just to survive that kind of onslaught, you need a meme. And this is actually a meme. It's been tweeted by like some of the top content creators like Mr. Beast. You have a lot of soccer clubs, football players, basketball players tweeting, wearing shirts with this meme, and I think this is gonna go parabolic. I don't know like the ceiling of this. Like this could literally hit 10 bill. It could hit 25 bill. It could hit 3 bill, 5 bill. So it's one of those coins that you should try to get some investment in. And right now it's like the entry of like 166 is actually pretty good. Okay, so I think for this one, anything below like this, like anything below 500 mil, if this runs to 10 bill or even 3 bill, it's still some really nice multiples. So I think anything between 500, like this entry right here, is kind of crazy. The last one I want to talk about is Giga. Now, Giga is actually one of these coins that, had a crazy, crazy run. It started here, 250. A lot of people entered at this 200 range. Some people were able to get into these 50 mil range. But right now it's kind of having this nice stability here at 681, kind of hitting all-time high. So for Giga, what I'm looking is for this to, I'm not buying right now because I'm waiting for it to break this all-time high. And then I'm going to look for a dip. Like if we get another dip right, this 200 range, 200, 350 range, that's what I'm buying because I know this is going to definitely hit like 2 bill. So Giga is definitely one that you would keep an eye on and, kind of just see where the chart's going. And if it actually gets a nice dip like this, we had this dip of 300 right now, you'd be at, we're going to hit 2x right now, right? So these are a little bit safer coins in the sense that you want to be buying these dips, but you want to make sure you understand that you need to hold these for a good amount of time, just depending on how many multiples you get. But overall, in general, guys, these are the coins I recommend that you do not want to miss this 2025. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you're able to position yourself accordingly, look for that dip, you guys will be making life-changing returns. Now, if you guys don't want to miss any of these coins before I even post them on YouTube, or if you guys want to make sure you're on top of the coins that are actually releasing before anything, make sure you guys follow me on X, follow me on TG, because I give you guys the alpha right there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.